check. Let's see. Go ahead and hit that refresh button on the channel here and make sure that it's live. And then once it's live, then we will get the intro going. All right, we are live. All right.
Yep.
Okay, so let's go ahead and get the intro started and formally start the show.
Hit it! That's what I'm talking about. Wait!
Okay, now, from the beginning.
Hit it, boys. What are you talking about?
Hey, everybody, welcome into the Arena Multi-Platform Gaming News Podcast. This is episode 162. I'm your host, Expat, along with my co-hosts, Burley of Burlyman Gaming, and one of our community members and patron, Fryman. Welcome on into the show. It's great to have you here. Your first appearance on the show. Welcome on in, man. Thanks for coming.
Yeah, thank you for having me, Expat. I'm looking forward to this.
Yeah, we are too. Burley, how you doing out there in Canada?
Doing good. It's been getting warmer and warmer. It's nice. This is the best winter ever, where I don't always have to wear a winter coat. Don't have to put on 10 to 12 pounds of gear to go outside. I like this.
So you mean to say that you like global warming then?
In this one instance of it, yes. The other instance with the superstorms and all that, no.
Just the one time. Just the one time.
Exactly.
Actually out here in Japan, it's like around 13 to 15 degrees in the afternoon, which of course, Fry, we go by Celsius out here in Japan. So it's probably around like in the 50s, I would say. Yeah. And then in the evening, it drops below zero. It's like probably around 31, 32 degrees. But yeah, I mean, yeah, it's been a strange year, but the forecast here is to have snow on Monday and Tuesday. I'm not looking forward to that, especially when I have to commute to the schools, on bicycle. So it's fun trying to ride a bicycle in the snow. So
I can imagine.
Yeah. So anyway, we got a great show for you. We're going to be talking Persona in the beginning of the show, and then our topic of the show. Got my PlayStation hat on today, so we're going to be talking about the state of play that happened last week. And it's interesting, Burley, because we get another state of play next week. Yep. So it's kind of weird how they do this and just, scheduling back-to-back state of plays, but we'll talk about that later. So that's going to be our topic of the show, is the state of play. We're going to run through everything that they showed. And then Like a Dragon, of course, Infinite Wealth. We have some news on that launch and some of the sales numbers on that. And of course, our new game release picks of the week. And yeah, this week's pick is unanimous. So we're going to be talking about that. So before we get into the games that we've been playing, excuse me, my morning voice is coming back, guys.
It's all right.
Excuse me. Yeah, it's like because it's 7:00 in the morning out here in Japan. So sometimes my voice, especially my morning voice, comes out. So apologies for that. But anyway, so before we get into the games that we've been playing, for all of you audio listeners out there, we're going to have a brief pause here to talk about where you can find this podcast in audio and video formats. Okay, guys, let's talk about the games that we have been playing. So I've been playing an interesting little game called Brotato. So Brotato is, of course, over on Game Pass, and it's a cool little twin stick shooter. Yeah, it's really cool to play. Let me go ahead and get to it here. So why did that not come up? So let me go ahead and get to it here. There it is. Okay, so Brotato. I've been having a lot of fun with this. It's kind of like a mini arena twin stick shooter, and you can level up and get lots of different equipment, and you can get arms, you can get legs, you can get different faces and all, and just hacking and killing aliens. It's really fun to play. So it's on Game Pass. So if you are a Game Pass user, check it out. It's really fun. So Burley, have you tried this yet, Brotato?
I have not, but I've heard good things, and you know me, I put a lot of time into Vampire Survivor.
Oh,
So
okay.
this just seems like this be up my alley. But we actually have in the chat here Fubu stopping by, wishing us all good luck and all that. He unfortunately had to
Right.
go to work today, so couldn't
Yeah.
be here for today.
Yeah. So thanks, Fubu, for that. And also Carl, he couldn't be with us this week. So, hopefully he'll be back next week. So anyway, yeah, Brotato. It's a fun little twin stick shooter. Check it out if you are a Game Pass subscriber. Pretty cool stuff. Yeah. And it's also out on Steam. So on the PC side of things. So Burley, what have you been playing, man?
Well, the main one I've been playing is a lot of Prince of Persia and the Lost Crown.
Mm-hmm.
If you love your Metroidvanias, you will love this one. This game is hard though. Make no mistakes, this game can be very, very punishing. But one of the things that I do like besides just having your standard difficulty settings that you had and that you have, like normal, easy, hard, you actually can configure them like you could in Guardians of the Galaxy. So you can tailor the experience. So if you want it, you can do it where like you take less damage, but the enemies have more health and stuff. Like you can really adjust the challenge to what you feel. Mm-hmm. It is really cool. I've got about probably like 9 hours in, and just like the different traversal abilities you'll get. And it's something different for Prince of Persia because it started out as the 2D side scroller for the first couple of games, then with the Sands of Time trilogy becoming the 3D games, and then they sticking that route for the longest time. It's nice to see them do something different in a different genre, a genre I think we all here love. So
right.
And for the amount of time I put in, that they've done it quite well. I will be in the near future recording and getting an extra take for you guys on this.
Cool. All righty. And Fry, what have you been playing, man?
Mainly, especially for the past 2 weeks, I've been playing through Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth, and just like constantly putting in so much time into both the story, but primarily the side quests and whatnot, because it's like there's just so much to do in just that first half of the game that I'm at. Mm-hmm. It's just like I lose so much time, but it's so much fun. It's just they made so many good improvements to the combat that I really enjoy it. Mm-hmm. And it's just like, yeah, so far from what I've played in the story, it's like I'm really interested and engaged, and I had a hard time putting it down, but now that Persona 3 is here, it's like, yeah, I might flip flop between the two because
Right.
I've been really looking forward to Persona 3 Reload as a fan of Persona 3.
Right. Now with Infinite Wealth, I have a question. With the turn-based elements, is there anything different from 7 in 8?
Not too much. It is very much very similar from
Mhm.
7 to 8. It's just they made like the right quality of life improvements to which it's like I feel it's much better now. Like they
Okay.
really, especially now that you can reposition your main character, you can really approach a lot of battles with a lot more strategy. And for me, I've had more fun doing that than most of what I did in like 7, which is where it's like I mostly just use my special attacks 90% of the time, and I kind of won, albeit from a few story boss battles. I had to think a little bit more strategically.
Mhm.
But with 7, I feel like you really have a chance to be strategic and also to show off a little bit more.
Okay. Mm. Burley, have you started playing Infinite or like a Dragon Infinite Wealth yet?
No, I just mean to play Like a Dragon. It's just like every time I want to go sit in there, I look at the other 30 games that I want to try and sit and do, and it's like, let's just work on something else right now. Let's get this game done.
Yeah, that's for sure. Yeah. All righty. So those are the games that we've been playing. So let's go ahead and get into the weekly news beat. So Persona 3 Reload. So Reloaded. So I mean, I started playing it last night, and it gets me, because I am a school teacher out here in Japan. So I teach English and social studies and all, and it's funny how like in the beginning of the game when you're going into the school, and it's like the kid tells you, okay, you have to find the school office, like the teacher's room and all. It's like everything's in kanji, in Japanese. And as I'm just walking down the halls, okay, oh, there's a Ongaku Shitsu, that's the music room. Oh, there's a Rika Shitsu, that's the science room. Or I mean, I don't even have to look for the English on this. So that's kind of an advantage I have in playing this. And it just, sometimes I enjoy it, but sometimes it kind of gives me feelings of being at work. It's especially when you go into the teacher's room, right? And you got all the teachers sitting there, and you got like the Kocha sensei, that's the principal, he's sitting at the far corner of the room, obviously. And then you go into like the beginning of the school year starts, and you're in the auditorium, that's the first day of school, day of the school year, which is in April in Japan, where in America it's the school year starts in September. But it's all the same, and so I'm just like, oh, I feel like I'm at work, but I'm loving the game. I love the characters in this game, and we're going to talk a little bit about how they've changed this from the original version of the game. But Fry, I want to get your thoughts so far on Persona 3 Reload. I mean, just in my opinion, I think when it comes to the animation of the game, there are still bits and pieces of animation that still feel like 1980s Japanese anime. As you see the kids like walking to the school and things like that. It's kind of the transitioning and all. But other than that, I think the character upgrades and all, like when you're talking and all, it is a definite upgrade from the originals. So what are your thoughts on Persona 3 Reload so far?
So far, I am really enjoying it. It's definitely a very faithful remake coming from the original game to this. At least from what I've played, I haven't noticed too much like deviation from the original game.
Right.
So that's good for me because I really do love Persona 3. But what deviation I have noticed there is mainly like presentations, where there was a lot more animated cutscenes, especially at the start of the game. Now they're switched to in-engine cutscenes, especially
Yeah.
when you look at the first real battle sequence where the main character gets his persona. That's all in engine now,
Mhm.
as opposed to being animated. But they're very similar, and it still looks really good. So
Yeah.
I'm not too bothered by it.
Yeah. Yeah.
But from what I have played, it's like, yeah, I really like it. And also I have gotten to Tartarus the first time around, and it's like, yeah, the upgraded gameplay mechanics are so much better now. That's like, it's kind of hard to go back to how the original game was now with the tactics menu, but they still have that in this game. Just if you prefer direct commands, then it's there for you.
I see. Right. Burley, your thoughts on Persona 3 Reload?
It looks good. I have not actually had a chance to try it. I have played a bit of Persona 3 Portable, so I know a little
Yeah.
bit of Persona 3, but it looks great, and it looks like they took their time. They put a lot of effort in this, and to keep it faithful to the original, where people are going to be happy, but upgrade and change things because the technology because three came out on the PS2, if I'm not mistaken. So
Yeah,
how many years?
in 2006 on the PS2.
Yeah.
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 So
Yeah.
a lot has changed technologically, and they're using what the power of the new consoles and modern PC hardware can do.
Yeah. Okay. There's a scene right there that I want to get to. I'm going to go ahead and stop this and get back to the image before I get to that. There was that scene on the beach there. And I'm gonna give a link to the story that we're gonna talk about now, because there are some little things that have changed in Persona 3 Reload from the original Persona 3. So Persona 3 Reload removes an infamously transphobic line of dialogue, which is interesting because in Japan there's still a lot of discrimination, particularly towards gay and lesbians, the LGBT community, and transphobic the types of individuals. And what's interesting about this, I want to read it for you. This is over from IGN. So the Persona 3 scene in question had a party trying to hit on a woman at a beach, with Akihiko, Junpei, and the protagonist approaching a character referred to as beautiful lady, quote. So after some back and forth, Akihiko points out a bit of facial hair on her chin, to which beautiful lady responds, quote, I missed a spot, end quote. Junpei then exclaims, quote, she's a he, end quote. The dialogue is very slightly changed in Persona 3 Portable. The character is named Pretty Lady instead of Beautiful Lady, but still includes the same trans panic. So Kotaku first reported this, and it was verified by IGN. Persona 3 Reload changes the dialogue quite a bit. The end result is the same, but the party running away from the woman, but instead of it being due to her being trans, it's because she's actually a conspiracy theorist trying to sell them sunscreen. So, I mean, stuff like that. I mean, just little things that, they're changing. I think the Atlas, they kind of got the picture on this a little bit, and they wanted to do some changes on that. You guys' thoughts on that, and some of the other changes in Persona 3 Reload. So, Fry, I'll let you go ahead. What do you think?
I think definitely this is a good change, especially if you've noticed over the years, Atlas is almost always under fire for any kind of LGBT depiction, and that could be skewed very negatively. So this was probably the best way to kind of circumvent that, so that they don't have to go through this again, especially after the last one, if I remember correctly, was like Catherine Full Body. I remember a lot of people talked about that in regards to discrimination towards the LGBT. So it's good that they saw that and decided to change that. But correct me if I'm wrong. I haven't looked into this, but supposedly it's only the English release that they changed this. I've heard apparently in the Japanese release it's still very much the same.
I'll have to look into that. I'm not sure about the Japanese release if it's changed as well, but yeah, definitely in the English version. So yeah, but Burley, your thoughts?
Yeah, good on them. The game came out in 2006. It was the world was a little bit different back then. I think it's fair to say. So yeah, good on them to change it. Let's just change it, make things change with times. So I'm not surprised on them on changing it.
Yeah. Which leads me to the question, the next game, that Fantasio game that's going to be coming. I wonder what kind of themes that they'll have in that, and how controversial they'll be. I'm sure there'll be some controversial scenes and themes, especially in that game as well. So when that does come, but yeah, I mean, the characters, I love the characters in this game, and I'm looking forward to playing more of it. So I just started it up again, but and being in the Velvet Room again was pretty cool. So yeah, it's good stuff.
Good old Igor.
Yeah, good old Igor, man. Yeah, in the Velvet Room. So yeah,
and Elizabeth.
Yeah. And the contracts. Yeah, so. And of course, at the beginning of this game, it does talk about the specific themes, and there are themes about like suicides and stuff like that go on throughout society and stuff like that. So it's good that they give you kind of a heads up of what you're getting into when you play a Persona game. So yeah, as well as another game that we're going to be talking about when it comes to Silent Hill. Boy, oh boy. We're going to talk about that later because, I played that as well. But, so I'm really interested to see what the sales figures are on this, particularly since it's on Game Pass. I'm really interested to see how well this sells. I mean, I did see physical copies of this over in my local Japanese electronics store. So, it'll be interesting to see how well it sells, and I think we'll get some sales figures in the next coming weeks, right, Burley?
Oh yeah, we should get some sales numbers. I'm curious to see which version of the game is selling the most on which platform. That'll be interesting. And who knows, like, because I know some people complain this is not on the Switch. You never know with that Switch 2, Super Switch, whatever they're going to call it.
Give it
a show.
Yeah, just give it time. Something could come about sooner than later.
Right. All right, so let's go ahead and move on. Let's talk about Like a Dragon, Infinite Well. So Fry, you're playing that now, and of course we got some sales figures on this, which is interesting. So Like a Dragon, Infinite Well sells over 180,000 physical units on Japanese debut. So physical sales, so physical media lives on. So this is over from let me go ahead and get to that here, over from Gaming Bolt. So last week was a big one for new game releases, with both Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth and Tekken 8 releasing on the same day. But though both games have enjoyed widespread critical acclaim in Japan, one is selling a lot better than the other. So Famitsu has released its latest weekly charts for hardware and physical software sales in Japan, and on the software front, Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth has dominated proceedings. In PS5 version, its PS5 version, I should say, occupies the top spot with over 102,000 units sold, while its PS4 version sits in third place, having sold over 77,000 units. Collectively, the game sold over 180,000 physical units at launch across both platforms in Japan. In comparison, Yakuza Like a Dragon sold over 156,000 units upon its release in 2020, while last year's Like a Dragon Gaiden, The Man Who Erased His Name, debuted with over 123,000 units sold. So, guys, physical media lives on. What do you think of these numbers? I think they're pretty modest numbers out here in Japan. They're pretty good sales. How do you think physical sales of this game will be in the West? Burley, your thoughts?
Yeah, it's very good sales number Japan wise, so I'll agree with you on that. On the West, I wouldn't be surprised if you took like Canada and US, if you combine them, it'd be in the 250,000 range. I would say, like, because the series has been getting more and more popular, especially with Like a Dragon got very, very popular worldwide. So wouldn't surprise me that this series is just growing in more and more sales.
Fry, your thoughts?
Yeah, definitely for Japan, like you pointed out, that is very good to hear, especially for physical media sales. How it is in the U.S., I can't particularly point to how well it does, but I figure it's definitely around the same range as Like a Dragon was before, but probably a little bit more, especially as the series has grown since like a Dragon and every subsequent release since then. Especially now that they're all going worldwide releases, unlike Like a Dragon, which it came out in Japan first and then came to the U.S. and other countries in November of 2020. So that definitely is helping them out a lot in terms of sales.
Yeah. I think obviously physical copies are even in Japan are going to be higher now, but I think this is just my prediction. I think probably Japan's physical sales are going to be higher than the West, but shall see. Interesting stuff. All right, guys. Man, we're getting by this pretty fast today. I guess, Matt Burley. I guess it's because we have two absentees that like to talk a lot.
Yeah, they're talking. We're not going on, and I don't want anyone taking this on a slight or anything. We're not going on a tangent of we start here and then go 90 degrees or a full 180 to somewhere else.
All right. Well, we got a lot to talk about with the topic of the show, so let's go ahead and just jump into it. So because I've got the whole state of play, ready to go here. So let's talk about it from start to finish, shall we? So we'll just go ahead and play it and we'll talk about it, kind of like reactions to it. But I mean, yeah. So and all of you that are with us here, thank you so much for joining, and be sure to hit that like, subscribe, and notification bell for when we drop an episode here of the Arena Gaming News podcast, as well as all of our other shows here on the Arena Productions. And be sure to hit that super chat to get your messages highlighted and priority of responses, as well as if you'd like to support our content and all that we do here on the Arena Productions, be sure to check out the super thanks as well. So, all right. Let's go ahead and get into the topic of the show, the state of play. So I'm going to go ahead and just start it up, and we'll just start to discuss it. It's funny because the thumbnail, and we're going to be talking about it later, but I made the state of Kojima because, oh boy, I mean, I'm sure we've got a lot to talk about him. So, but anyway, this is our topic, or for the beginning here, this is our game of the week. So I'm giving you all a heads up now. Our pick of the week is Helldivers 2. I've got this pre-ordered. I'm really looking forward to playing it. Burley, I know you've got it pre-ordered too. Yeah, I think we should all play this together. And in third person mode now. So what do you guys think?
Yeah, this is a great way to start off the event because Helldivers 2 comes out next week. So you want to start the showcase, the state of play, off with a bang. So why not? They just went into Helldivers 2 and showed, I think it was like just a couple minutes, just enough to be like, hey, remind you this game's coming. Don't sleep on this game. It's coming in early February.
Fry?
Yeah, it was definitely good to start with this, especially considering the game is releasing next week. Especially because this is already a packed month as is, especially the past couple of weeks have been packed with new game releases. So it was definitely a good way to kind of give everybody a heads up and that they shouldn't sleep on this when it does come out. But also, yeah, it really looks like a good game. I'm interested in it.
Now, question, guys. Herman Holst, obviously, he used to be at Guerrilla Games, right? But do you think he's going to take over for Jim Ryan? What do you think?
I could see it, but I have no idea.
It's quite possible, but it all depends on the applicants. Are they going to go to him or is he going to go to them?
Yeah. I still think Yoshida-san should be the head, but I don't think he'll probably take it. I think he's doing a great job with the indie division right now, so I don't see him doing it. But okay. Next up here, yes, I'm excited for this game, man. Yeah. So, what did you guys think of this one? Hello,
Blade.
come on, guys, talk.
Sorry, I didn't know if anyone was going to jump in first, but Stellar
Yeah,
Blade.
sorry.
It just it looks great.
Stellar Blade.
This
Yep.
game. Just it looks, no pun intended, stellar. This was a game I didn't think about, and then until they showed this, I was like, "Ooh, this looks good." Just showing it off, all the graphical states of it, and then in a little bit we'll get to the action and combat.
Yeah, I think it looks really good, especially for when it was first shown at one of the earlier state of plays a couple years back. It definitely has my interest, and it is coming out relatively soon, so that's pretty good.
This game gave me complete Nier Automata vibes.
Really?
I mean, it's just a different version of Nier, in a way. I think maybe the Korean developers had Nier in mind when they were developing this game. I don't know. What do you think?
I could see that a bit, especially the setting and the types of enemies you're fighting. They definitely look like something
Right
out of Nier Automata.
Right. Okay. Burley?
Yeah, I've never played Nier, so I can't comment too much on that. But I'll take your guys' words for that. But it's nice to see that this isn't just, hey, you've got the sword, you've got the gun as well. So the different combos and stuff you're going to do. And this is what they're showing you now. When you play the game and when it comes out, how many other weapon types are we going to have? And stuff like that. That has me interested. Yeah, because I forgot about this game existed. And then it was like, oh yeah, Stellar Blade. I remember seeing that how many years ago. This looks really, really good. And this coming, I think it was late April. So it's like, okay.
Late
so
April.
we got something in April, because like we've all been saying early this year is kind of is pretty packed. And then what do we know? Like, because I think the latest we knew for like something for PlayStation was Rise of Ronin at the end of March. And I was like, what's after that? So, okay, we got something in April.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, it looks pretty. I mean, but post-apocalyptic world. I mean, I've been there, done that, so many times now. I mean, it's like, I'm starting to get depressed when I play these games because everything's like post-apocalyptic or something. Yeah, but I'm interested in the combat and like all the choices you have here. You can rest, and hey, you got the drink machines, so hey.
Yeah, at least you have those.
Yeah, it's good stuff. Yeah.
Got the little robotic companion at one point they show you falling around. So how much you want to bet you're going to get a robot kitty at some point in the game? You can get that.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Good stuff. All right. I'm going to fast forward this a little bit. So anyway, let's get out of this. And that's the developer there. Okay, so Sonic. Burley, got anything to say about Sonic here on this one?
Yeah, so this is a game I've played when it came in like 2011, I think Sonic Generations came. So like this had been trending for Twitter that this was going to get leaked, Sonic Generations X. Like this looks great, but it's like at first here showing, it's like, why would I need to play this game? I have this on PC. I have this on PS3. You've got the whole Shadow mode. So Shadow there, it took me a little bit to realize they're doing this with the Shadow to tie in because we've got this Sonic 3 film coming and Shadow is a big part of it. So, because they tease him in Sonic 2. So this looks great. I'm curious to see how much extra content and what's Sega going to go for the pricing. Because I'm going to be honest, here in Canada, I'm not going to spend $90 to get this game. It's like, no, you make this a 20 to 30 digital digital price tag, yeah, you've got my money.
Yeah. So now this one that came next, this is the Hi-Fi Rush clone. So everybody's been talking about Hi-Fi Rush it's gonna be coming to PlayStation now. Like on the people like myself are kind of we're like maybe Microsoft they should kind of hold off and not put Hi-Fi Rush on other platforms. But this game looks pretty similar in a sense to Hi-Fi Rush, I think. And this probably quashes the rumors that game is going to be coming to PlayStation or others. But we shall see. But what did you think of this one, guys?
It looked all right, but this one's just I'm kind of neutral on this one because it's just like, there's not enough there for me to really like have one opinion or sway with my opinion one way or another. It looks all right. I don't know if I'll play it.
Yeah. Then Foam Stars. Yeah. Go ahead, Burley. Go ahead.
Yeah, that other one, it was just, hey, I'll keep my eye on it. But Foam Stars, we got that finally coming out. And we got it coming. We'll be talking about PS Plus later. You can get the game through PS Plus. That's one of the games in February. And come on, everyone, you need to put in the comments on this video and to get Carl to remind him to turn on his PS4 and get a PS Plus trial code for a weekend and get him to play it. I'll give this game a chance. I will give this game a chance because it is a free game, but I don't have the highest. I don't have the highest bar for Foam Stars, but you know what? If it's at least a decent game, I will talk the positives of it when I try it.
Yeah. Same here since it's free, but I am curious, like, what's the longevity of this game? Like, how long will it really be supported for as time goes on?
Yeah.
I
was going to say that Zenless Zone Zero, it also reminds me of that one game that came out a couple of years ago now. It's on the top of my head here, but something Prime. I'll remember it later, but yeah, let's go ahead and get to Dave the Diver here. So and then of course Godzilla. I mean, when I saw this, I was like thinking, okay, Godzilla, minus one, so and that it's also nominated for Best Visual Effects, the Academy Awards. So obviously they got to get something out here with that. So Dave the Diver meets Godzilla.
Yeah, this is something. So, like Dave the Diver coming to PlayStation, I saw that coming. It was just a matter of when. But then, we're teasing this Godzilla DLC. That was an accident there. I swear.
Okay, guys, it came back to me. Scarlet Nexus. That's what I was thinking of.
Okay. Get Scarlet Nexus.
Yeah, that Zenless Zone Zero reminds me of Scarlet Nexus. Anyway, yeah. So. Okay, and here comes the Diablo clone here. So another kind of a Diablo type of game. So hack and slash.
Yeah, I remember last year it entered early access, and now it looks like it's coming. Its full release is coming out soon, so that's pretty good. But
V Rising, yeah,
it looks good, but I'm not too like in the. I don't think I really need to play this when it comes out because. I like Diablo-like games, but they're never really games I feel like I need to immediately play as they come out. But it is, if you like this kind of game, it's like, I hope you enjoy it.
Yeah. Good stuff.
Yeah, I'll check it out, and I'm curious to see how it will do with it coming out. See how if it takes a bite out of Diablo 4.
And next up, I think, is the Judas, which is from the creators of BioShock. So, I think that's the one that's coming up here next. So, if I remember correctly,
that's Silent
I know. Hill. Oh, Silent Hill. Okay. Now this one, I played this last night. I played all through the whole game, and boy, oh boy, there's like 500 different messages about suicide and bullying, and if like prevention hotlines for people in need and stuff like that. So if you're having like any kind of mental issues or something, this is not a game to play. Just going through all these corridors and having the monster chasing you down through all these corridors, and it's very dark, these corridors usually, and you're in a school, and the game is about friendship, the game is about jealousy, and about death, and about living in a broken relationship between mother and father, and when it comes to social media, how social media can affect the mental state of teenagers. This Silent Hill, the short message, it's really good, but there are times in this game when you're running down the corridors and everything, and then if the thing catches you there, like you see, then you start over and over and over and over again. So it's not a game for the mentally challenged or the faint of heart, for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was playing it the day it came out. I haven't beaten it yet, but I definitely, there were plenty of scenes where even I didn't want to look at the screen. It's just like, God, no, I would not want to recommend this for anyone who's not in the best state of mind currently.
Yeah.
I thought of downloading and streaming this, but I was like, yeah, I don't think this would go over well. I will try it eventually on my own time, but yeah. And Leah here in chat asked, "What do you think the monster's supposed to represent?" Because she just finished the.
All right, I don't want to spoil it for people, but I think it represents the artist in the game. And Leah, I think you'll understand what I'm talking about when I mean the artist. And the vengeance that it pertains to. So, okay, let's go ahead. So we're talking about next up here, the Silent Hill. Looks like 2. The remake is Silent Hill 2. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah. I'm interested in the remake of Silent Hill 2, and I do like the original. My only thing is I don't think this was the best trailer to show for it, because it's mainly about the combat while showing some of the familiar puzzles from the original game and locations. But this combat, just from what I've seen, it's like, I don't think it looks terrible, but you can tell it's not finished. It still
looks dated, man. It still looks dated. Yeah. I mean, it looks like maybe early PS3, late PS2 era.
Come on, this looks like PS2 Resident Evil games that weren't Resident Evil 4.
Yeah.
I'm
okay, here's the Judas game from BioShock that I was talking about earlier. So yeah, it definitely, this one definitely had the BioShock elements to it and all. So what were your thoughts on Judas?
Definitely interested, because I like BioShock, and Ken Levine, the creator, is at the helm of this. My only thing is I do want to see more of the gameplay, as to which the past 2 trailers of just kind of showcasing the world and a bit of gameplay. So I'm kind of curious how it's going to play and how different from BioShock is it going to be, despite being somewhat similar.
Yeah, I loved the BioShock games. Having him back doing this style of game be very interesting to see how this comes out. This first trailer of it has me excited and be like, okay, I want more. Can't wait to see more.
Yeah, it's good stuff. Yeah, and then we got those VR titles as well. And I'm just like, they're not selling me on VR at all. I mean, when it comes to the VR2, and it's just who is going to buy these games? I don't understand. I don't see the value in purchasing them, or why they're putting them in the state of plays. I just yeah.
Well, they're putting it in because they have to show you something for PSVR 2,
Right.
or else it's everyone. Or like I said, they're gonna do some stuff with PSVR 2, but they're not gonna put heavy amount of time and effort into it.
Mhm,
They don't want to go too heavy into it.
mhm.
They look fine for what they are for VR2 titles, but it's just like, to me, it's like, I'm not going to spend the $700 to $800 on this
Yeah.
and to get this, and then for what little titles there are that I want to actually play, and
Yeah.
put this as and keep this as a paperweight for me.
Yeah, so this is the Metro, VR for VR2, but yeah, I mean, I can get a better experience playing the regular Metro game, I think. So, yeah. If you like looking at like walking through a dark tunnel or something like that in VR, maybe this is something you would give a try. But
Yeah.
it doesn't. It's not selling to me. Yeah.
Yeah.
Fry, your thoughts? Yeah.
It definitely looks interesting, and
Mhm.
I do like Metro. It's just from this trailer, it's like, okay, it looks good, but it's like, why did it have to be VR?
Yeah.
And if it's exclusive
Yeah.
to PlayStation VR 2 only, it's like, yeah, I don't think that's a good idea either. But
Mhm.
generally, I think it should have just been it could have just been a regular Metro game, and I think it would have been fine either way. So I'll keep my eye on it, but yeah, it didn't need to be a VR title.
Yeah. And then another one here. So they spent like about 2 minutes on VR. So which was probably smart of PlayStation to only put about 2 minutes into it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So okay, I'm gonna go ahead and skip some of this here. So kind of move forward a little bit. Okay. So then here, of course, Dragon's Dogma 2.
Yeah.
So game of the year 2024, obviously.
Yeah.
I mean, I have to say that because, with last year, I mean, this game is quite similar, it seems, to Baldur's Gate 3 in a way. To me, I just it kind of has that similar vibe to it,
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
being an action RPG and all. So, but the combat here is pretty cool with the dragons and all. So, Burley, your thoughts?
Yeah, this is one I'm actually looking forward. I've been playing through the original Dragon's Dogma, the PS4 version, Dark Horizon.
Mm-hmm.
And this looks like this is much more upgraded, because the original Dragon's Dogma is like slow for your spell casting. Here, this looks so quick, fast paced action and all that.
Mm-hmm.
And like, so I'm curious to see all the other stuff that they changed and just added in. But like, you're changing between your different weapon types and all that.
Mm-hmm.
This has me very interested. This is helping me sell on the game. And you're not going to like what Leah posted in chat.
Mm-hmm.
Game of the year 2024 is Last of Us 2 remake.
Yeah. Okay.
We'll see.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, we'll see.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be, because it's not a new game. But anyway, yeah. So
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, all right. Okay. Team Ninja. All right. Now, this is something I have a lot to say about, because, I talked a lot about Ghost of Tsushima. Okay. There are many elements of Ghost of Tsushima in Rise of the Ronin, and there are many elements to Neo in this game, because obviously Team Ninja created the Neo games. So, but as a Japanese historian myself, and talking about this game, I am really interested, and I am looking forward to playing this game for the historical elements. And this is Yokohama in the late 1850s. So this is the period. It's the Bakumatsu era, as it shows here. The Bakumatsu era is basically right before the Meiji Restoration. So we're going to get like a 20-year time span. And with these grappling hooks now, just don't think about this stuff. And the and the Leonardo da Vinci, Assassin's Creed 2 type of flyers here. Don't think about this stuff.
But where's the bonfires to help elevate me?
Now, this game is centered on the time right before the Meiji Restoration. So you have in the Bakumatsu era, you have the imperial forces and you have the pro shogun forces from the Tokugawa, and you're going to see a lot of the Shinsengumi in this game. And some of the major characters of the Shinsengumi, like Kondo-san, who was the leader of the Shinsengumi in the 1860s, he is actually in Like a Dragon Ishin. So if you have played Like a Dragon Ishin, some of the characters like Sakamoto Ryoma are also going to be in this game. Now looking at this here, I mean, this is very Neo-esque, and just the fictional aspects of this game, but there are very real historical, instances in this game that I'm very interested in. And the Shinsengumi, they were a group that basically were protecting the shogun's forces in Kyoto in the late 1850s and the 1860s in particular. And you're going to see a clip of them here in a couple of minutes, but they are very significant when it comes to protecting, the shogun and his forces at the very, very end of the shogunate before the fall. So it'll be interesting. I'm really excited for this game to delve in and see how accurate it is. Your guys' thoughts. Go ahead. I'll let you guys talk.
I'm interested in it. At first, it was on my radar because it definitely gameplay wise reminded me a lot of a cross between Neo and Ghost of Tsushima.
Mm-hmm.
But now seeing a lot more gameplay of it, I'm even more interested in it, especially since it comes out within over a month.
Yeah.
So I'm very curious about it, but also just like, yeah, it looks very fun to play.
There you go.
Especially...
There's a Shinsengumi. Yep. And that's Kondo-san
yeah.
right there. Yep. There you go. There they are. So yeah. And they were about 300 men in total. So yeah. And Kondo-san, of course, in in the late 1860s, I think it was the Battle of Hakodate, I think it was, or something. He was captured, obviously, and he was, of course, tried and executed and had his head cut off and put on a spike. So, yeah, I mean, really looking forward to it. Burley, your thoughts on this?
Yeah, more and more I see of this game, it's helping me sell me on this game. Like the whole grappling hook mechanics is not just used to, help get you up there. You can use it, pull enemies down to you, and just do your sword combos. Like, this just looks cool.
Yeah.
And just then having your leader, like you said, your Leonardo da Vinci glider thing and showing it off. That like the traversal, like it's really good. I'm interested to see how well this game comes, but it comes on the same day as Dragon Dogma too, so it's going to be interesting.
Yeah. So yeah. All right, next up, Until Dawn remake. Why are they doing this? I don't understand why they need to. Why do they need to remake this game? I mean, it's beautiful on PS4 as it is. So yeah, your guys' thoughts.
Yeah, why did they have to remake this? Because there was really nothing about the original game that really needed a massive overhaul, other than graphics from the looks of it.
Mm-hmm.
But supposedly there is new stuff in it. From what I've heard, they're gonna have like a new third-person over-the-shoulder camera mode, as well as new environments, and I think some new story elements to explore.
Mm-hmm.
And it's coming, of course, to PS5 and PC. So that's good, but out of all the games, like why this one? Bloodborne's right there. That one needs it more than this one.
Yeah,
We-
yeah. Well, just
Well-
don't even remake it. I mean, or remaster. Just come out with Bloodborne 2. You know, it's just there's so many of us have played Bloodborne already. We really don't need to play it again. We're waiting for the second one, but yeah, shall see. But okay, let's get to the Death Stranding 2. Okay.
yes.
I mean, just the weird of the weird, of course, you know, when it comes to Kojima games and all. I know, Burley, you played Death Stranding. I mean, your thoughts on this, this this trailer.
Yeah, I've played a couple hours of Death Stranding. I never finished the game, but we knew we all knew this had been leaked that it was going to come into where we were going to see this in the showcase. Graphically, this looks really great. You get your standard. You can get your Kojima wish list here of strange. What the hell is happening? Check. How you've got all that kind of stuff, like her having a mask and it being two hands. Why?
Yeah.
Why can't you just have her wear a normal mask?
And so now she gets infected there or something. Yeah, I guess
it gets infected.
She gets infected.
Yeah, she's de-aging because one of the things in the lore of the first game, the reason why they kind of wore those suits is that the water causes you to age faster. So when it rains, your skin starts to disintegrate a little bit faster. So that's I don't know what that has to do with the scene we just saw, but that is a thing they call like the time fall, I believe is what it was called.
Yeah.
And all the weapon choices here. So good old Norman Reedus.
Well, they're showing you the weapons because that was one thing with the first game. I remember you can get weapons till very late, and it wasn't a very big mechanic of this. So I'm thinking they're trying to show you this stuff in this trailer to be like, there is more than just being Postman Simulator. There'll be some combat.
Yeah.
There's a decent chunk of combat in some cases in the first game, but they were very spread far between each story chapter.
Now, from what you guys saw of this trailer, I mean, Burley, you were talking about the first game and that it's almost like a mailman service, kind of like a package delivery type of, traversing all of the map and, carrying, stuff from place to place. Do you think this game will be similar to that?
Oh, it's still going to have that. But one of the interesting things here is that this little dummy here that they've got him with.
Before you go on, Burley, I have to say this. When I saw the trailer for the first time, I thought that was Joseph Ferris. F the Oscars. It's like I was waiting for that little doll to say that. F the Oscars.
Oh, I wouldn't be surprised if that's a line they could throw in there if they could get or patch it in.
Not a knock on Joseph Ferris. I mean, he's a great game producer and all. Of course, one of his games won Game of the Year. Of course, It Takes Two. But I just thought when I first saw that puppet there, I thought it was like Joseph Ferris. But anyway, go ahead, Burley. You were saying about the traversal and everything, and
well, just back to the little puppet here. Like you can tell they did put a lot of detail because of his movements, like stop kind of motion look like. So that's interesting. And like here with the gameplay, you see the water rising and all the stuff it's doing to what it comes in contact with. So they're showing you more environmental stuff that's going on. So this looks interesting, but a lot of this is just cinematics. It looks like it looks great. Don't get me wrong, but I am not this game's target demographic. I'm curious to see what they're going to do with it. But I need more.
Yeah. Fry, your thoughts? Yeah,
I'm excited because I actually did like the original game. I'll admit it is a very acquired taste, and it did take me a minute to really appreciate it for what it is for the original game, but eventually it got its hooks into me and I really enjoyed it. This one looks pretty much like the first one, but but on crack pretty much. Like there's a lot more stuff you're going to be dealing with in terms of delivering supplies, and it does look like they're adding a lot more combat options based on the few things I've seen, and the locations look a lot more elaborate in what you have to deal with, like the one where we saw where he was on the moon or something in space.
Yeah. And here comes Troy Baker, of course. Troy Baker's voice and all for the main villain here. So
Yeah.
How do you guys feel about the title though, On the Beach?
I know in the story it has significance with a beach, but also it's like, okay, it's a bit of a mouthful than it really needs to be. But I'm sure it'll make sense potentially. But it's Kojima. We don't know.
Yeah. It's interesting. The guys holding Norman Reedus there. Well, they got the monitor faces. It reminds me of some of the monitor robots in Gears. I think it was Gears 5. I think it was early in Gears 5.
I think it was Gears 4.
4? Maybe 4 or 5. Yeah.
4 has them as well as 5. 5 does have them at one point.
All right. And then of course we get and then we get the scene at the end. It was like it looks like he's on the beach with the child. So. And then you get the combat here and all. I'm going to go ahead and move forward to. That's pretty cool there. But anyway. Yeah. Then you get, of course, the end here where he's talking about a new IP that he's working on, an espionage game. I wonder what kind of espionage game that is. It just cannot have Metal Gear on the title because, of course, Konami will get angry at him for doing that. So, I mean, I'm wondering what type of espionage. I mean, it looks more like a movie than anything else, but I mean, he's got Death Stranding 2, which they say 2025. He's got OD, which is coming specifically for Xbox at the moment. And now he's got this new IP. And he's talking about it's the culmination of my life's work. In 2 years, it'll be 40 years that I've been a game developer. Okay, well, how long is it going to be before this one comes out? I don't know. So what did you guys think of the last reveal of his espionage game?
I would say, Kojima is pretty much like stacked in terms of work now. Like he's getting the best deals from these major publishers.
Yeah.
No matter what, with all these projects he's got in the works. What it could be, though, it's still kind of up in the air. And when it comes out, who knows. But
yeah,
I'm definitely interested in it because I did play the Death Stranding director's cut, and there were pretty large references to Metal Gear at points, and you can tell even he wants to return to something like that. So that's good for me as a fan of Metal Gear, but I need to know more when the time comes about it before I can judge it.
Yeah.
Well, I think this was just put here because he's stating he wants to go back to this. He wants to go back to his roots, Metal Gear. That's what really took off and made him famous for him and all that. So he's just reminding, hey, I'm going to go back to my roots eventually after you've got this coming. You've got OD coming for me, but I can't name OD here because PlayStation will kill me. But I'm going to go back to a series PlayStation that started out here on PlayStation, that was PlayStation exclusive, that people loved. So I'm coming back to this. But we all thought there is where they were going to end the state of play. But then it just transitions and says, hey, because we're all wondering, are we going to get something on Final Fantasy VII Rebirth? Because we've got that coming at the end of the month. And they're like, yep, we've got that state of play coming next week, February 6th, 20 minutes on Rebirth. And I am at the state, I'm like, I want to see it, but I don't, because I kind of want to, I know enough. I've already seen enough that I've got the game pre-ordered, mind you, and all that. But it's like, I kind of want to go into some of this stuff.
And now you feel like you're kind of wasted your money because you're going to see everything about the game already that you've been looking forward to in all these trailers.
No, it's more just like this is going to get spoiled for me like and stuff like that. There's stuff you just want to see how are they going to do this compared to the original. Like they deviated some stuff. What's going to deviate with this? We know some stuff from the little trailer they gave us, but who knows?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All
But,
right. Go ahead. Brandon.
I was just gonna say, yeah, I'm interested in Rebirth, but I will probably, like Burley said, kind of skip out on the state of play because for the most part, other than the trailers they have been showing, I've been steering clear of most gameplay because I'm like, I'd rather see it for myself. Like I already can kind of guess what it's going to be: big open world action RPG set in Final Fantasy VII, and we know they've specifically said where the game's story is going to end if you're familiar with the original 7. So I figured it's like, all right, I'd rather not know as much as I can about this. Just go in surprised because I'm going to play it either way. But also, it's Square Enix. They've always had a track record of showing too much in their trailers, especially their final launch trailer, where they almost always give away the major element that it has later in the story. So I'm trying my best to avoid it, but I know a lot of my friends are excited for it. So good on them. But yeah, I think I'll stay clear of the state of play for now. Just kind of catch the highlights of what's there for it.
Okay, my picks of the show were Stellar Blade and Rise of the Ronin. I mean, Stellar Blade for the combat, and Rise of the Ronin just for the historical aspects of this game. Like I said, I don't care about the glider. I don't care about the zip lines. I mean, all I care about is the story and seeing Commodore Perry, seeing the Shin Sengumi, and how that all plays out. How the Tokugawa era came to an end. I'm really excited to see this game and to play it. What were you guys' picks of the show? Burley?
Well, Stellar Blade for sure. That was one like
Stellar
I said
Blade.
earlier. It'd be like I saw the game originally how many years ago and was like, pass. This showed and is like selling me. Okay, this is one I definitely got to go for. Rise of Ronin is definitely another one. Like, this might be a day one purchase. For another one for me, Judas. Even though we got to see
Judas.
very little, but it's like okay, they're keeping in the kind of the wacky zaniness of BioShock. So, and I love those games. So, yeah, no, this keeps me me hyped for it. So,
okay, Fryman.
Same with both of you. Stellar Blade and Rise of Ronin, they were pretty much the big highlights of the show, with how much time they had. But I will say I'm a little more excited for Rise of Ronin because seeing the gameplay, a little more of the gameplay and everything, has me a lot more interested. Because it looks like it looks like it's really taking a lot from Neo and Ghost of Tsushima.
Yeah.
So that has me interested. But one I will admit I was not. Now that I think about it, I'm surprised with is Dave the Diver purely because of Godzilla.
Because of Godzilla.
Yeah.
Stuff,
Now,
Gojira.
yeah, I've heard of that game.
Yeah, go ahead.
Thank you. But yeah, no, I heard of Dave the Diver, but and I was interested in it, especially when it was nominated at the Game Awards. But it's kind of was on the lower of my list. But now that's coming to PS5 and the Godzilla crossover, it's like, all right, top the list. I'll check it out when it comes out. But the other one for me, because is probably Death Stranding 2, because I really did like the first game, warts and all of what people did and didn't like about it. But seeing that though, it's like, and what they have changed and are adding to it, it's like, yeah, no, I'm really interested in it. It's a shame it's 2025, but we got a lot. I'm sure we have a lot in 2024 to look forward to already. So then, it's not so bad if I have to wait that long.
Definitely. Okay, guys. So let us know in the comments what was your pick of the show for the game that stood out to you. And my final question on the topic of the show for you guys is, which show was better, the State of Play or the Xbox Developer Direct?
I knew you were going to ask this question.
Of course, Burley. I'm the host of this show. I have to come up with the questions for this show. So yeah, go for it.
Yeah, for me, this was this was better. I know some people will go biasy on this. This flowed very well. Like I really liked the Developer Direct, but like I said in that one, it just got slowed down when we had that. Hey, here we go, unscheduled here thing from Square for Visions of Mana and all that, and it kind of just took the and stopped the pacing, and then going back in and then going to the other games.
Fry?
I'd say probably this, because I liked what they showed a bit more in the State of Play, but the Developer Direct wasn't too bad. I liked how it was structured because it pretty much it told you what you were going to expect, and what I saw in the Developer Direct was really good still. But for this, because I had a bit more surprises and what I saw, I'm a little more interested in it than what was in the Developer Direct. I would say the State of Play.
I would go with the Developer Direct only in the sense that the developers got to truly speak about particular aspects of the game that they're working on. And you get to see inside of the studios that they're working in, but this show had me intrigued because, like I said before, like Rise of the Ronin, it's got me intrigued, man. I mean, as a Japanese historian, I'm really looking forward to playing this game. That and seeing the gameplay of it as well. I mean, Sony is traditionally great at showing lots of gameplay at these types of showcases, even during the time when they showed stuff at E3 and all, but in a shorter format and all, but I did like the Developer Direct more because it does focus on the developers more. Where in the showcase, you saw the developers of Rise of the Ronin just for 5 seconds talking about the game, and then a little bit of commentary, but most of it was just 10 seconds here or there, and then just all gameplay, and not really truly explaining the gameplay. Like in those parts when they showed the combat, the Neo style combat, Burley, in Rise of the Ronin, they could have discussed, okay, what are the different types of combat techniques, and like with parrying and everything else that you have in this game, and what kind of weapons you could use in particular situations. They didn't go into too much detail on that. So,
well, yeah, no, we all would like them to go more in detail on that, but know how Sony has been doing it a little bit closer to that, maybe at the end of this month or early March, you'll get that 20-minute State of Play dedicated to Rise of Ronin. I wouldn't be for Rise of Ronin, I would see, because this is a game they are pushing heavily for. But I do agree, it was not the Xbox One focused more on the developers one. It's kind of a hard one to compare these two things, but it's nice to see this was a State of Play of Sony where it had for most through overall, it was a strong showcase of stuff. Yeah, there was the VR stuff that we weren't really too proud, but they didn't spend a fourth of the conference on VR here that we're like, why did they spend so much? They did 2 quick little games here, show you, spend like 3 minutes on the 2 games.
And you know what? Go and check out my shorts video that I did yesterday that I put up on the YouTube channel for Rise of the Ronin. I showed the physical Japanese copy of the game, and there's a Z version of the game, and I think there is going to be some censorship in this game because you have different versions, and the Z version pertains to the it's the Sero, which is like the ESRB in the United States. So the Sero in Japan is the ratings board, and so there is probably going to be a rating. The Z rating is probably going to be the most graphic, and then there's another
Mhm.
version that is less graphic, that probably has a lot cut out. So, because Japan is infamous for censoring games,
Yeah.
and that is a strong possibility out here for Rise of the Ronin as well. We shall see, but yeah, interesting stuff. All right, so that was our topic of the show, talking about the state of play. Obviously, next week we got another state of play. We've got Final Fantasy VII Rebirth that they're going to show a lot of. Yeah, of course we will be showing the gameplay of that for what they show. So stay tuned for that next week. So now it's time to move on. Let's go ahead and get to our new game release picks of the week. And boy, oh boy, it's an easy one this week, guys, because all three of us, we have the same game. Burley, go ahead and you can go to releases.com. That's www.releases.com. I put the link here for all of you video viewers here, and for you audio listeners, www.releases.com, where you can check out all the new game releases for this coming week, for next week, for the rest of February and beyond. So this is for the week of February 5th through the 11th. So Burley, what is our unanimous pick of the week? Go for it.
Well, it's Helldivers 2, Liberty, Tranquility.
Who would have thunk it?
Yeah. Regulated democracy. The inherent rights bestowed upon you by Super Earth, these foundation pillars of our society, are under relentless assault from lethal extraterrestrial civilizations plotting to obliterate Super Earth and its principles. You are about to inhabit a role of an extraordinary echelon of soldiers whose mandate is to propagate peace, freedom, and regulated democracy, utilizing the most formidable and devastating and explosive arsenal in the cosmos. So this is coming February 8th, coming to PC and PS5. This one I do have pre-ordered thanks to Fanatical, a little PC website. You can get deals. I got the PC version of the game because I got it much cheaper. And since I need someone to play with and to bestow the love to, I bought Fryman a copy for some of the games he got me last year.
Nice.
Thank you.
Nice.
You're welcome.
I can't wait for all the friendly fire in this game. I mean, because in the first Helldivers, you had the friendly fire and stuff. You get killed a lot on that, but I mean, this one's going to be hilarious when it comes to the friendly fire. It's like all the drops, and it's like you get smashed and stuff like that. So, yeah.
Screw you! I'm going for the missiles over. No, I want it.
Yeah, I can't wait for that, man. Can't wait for that stuff.
I want that loot. No, I want that loot. Now it's mine.
Yeah.
Oh, look! He ran into the bayonet of my gun.
So, question, guys: would you play? Say you don't have anybody to play with on a particular day. Would you play this game solo?
Yeah, probably would.
Yeah, I'll try it solo. Got to see how it is. I've never played the original Helldivers, but I heard it was a good game, and everything I've seen on
it is.
This,
it is, but
really
I mean, it's completely different in the sense that it's an aerial view. In the first Helldivers game, where this is completely third person. So it's going to be much, much different. So, almost a whole completely different game. So, and I played Helldivers 1, the first game. I played that on the Vita as well. So,
okay.
Yeah. But I mean, it's going to be completely different. I'm excited for it. I can't wait. Maybe we can squad up and stuff and do something. Yeah. Call ourselves a Team Arena or something like that, and squad up and go out there. Yeah. So great stuff. Helldivers 2. That's our pick of the week. So, Burley, it comes out on the 8th, and for what platforms?
PC and PS5.
PC. Yeah.
Yeah. So I
well.
I have the PC version, and eventually I will see if I can get this running on the deck. So if it can run on the deck, we'll have a little video of it running on the deck.
Nice. All righty. Okay, so those were our picks. Our pick of the week, I should say, not our picks of the week. Our pick of the week for the
Just
week
the
of February 5th through the 11th. So you can go to releases.com and check out all the games that are releasing this coming week and through February and beyond. www.releases.com. All right. So next up, no Game Pass info for this week. Probably we'll give you some new information about Wave 1 and potentially Wave 2 games that they're going to be announcing for Game Pass next week. So let's go ahead and do the PS Plus Essential, Burley, for this month of February. So what do we got?
So yeah, next week, starting on February 6th, we've got Foam Stars, which we showed earlier, the 4v4 multiplayer game. So that is coming PS4 and PS5. So this will be interesting to try. It is a day one release on there, so it'll be interesting to see how that game is and how the staying power for the game. We've also got Roller Dome, which is coming to PS5, PS4. It's their game right after they had done Ollie Ollie World a few years back.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like that. If you remember, in the description of it that they have is if Max Payne had roller skates. So yeah, I'm just reading the description of the article here as a little bit. It's like, okay, so that's interesting. And then the last game, which is only on PS5, Steel Rising. So this was another one of those Souls-like, but like the Victorian style aesthetic.
Okay. So yeah, and I think next week or the week after, Burley, we get the extra and premium list.
Yeah. Soon enough, we'll start getting what's dropping on the other tiers. Yeah, the extra and premium.
Yeah, so hopefully next week. Yeah. So hopefully next week we'll have that information for you. So that was our PS Plus Essential lineup. So strong lineup, Burley. What do you think?
It's not a bad lineup. Like Roller Dome, I'll definitely check it out and try. Steel Rising, yeah, maybe one day when I feel like I want to hate myself because I'm not into those styles of games, just because I suck at them. Foam Stars, I'll check it out. It's probably not going to be a game I'm going to really put time into, but you never know. I want to at least give the game a fair shot.
Yeah. Fry, any of these games you're going to try out? I'm going to try out Foam Stars, I think, definitely.
Yeah, I'll try out Foam Stars to see how it is. Roller Dome has been on my list for a while. I just never got around to picking it up. So now that's free, I definitely will try it out. Just because it's like, yeah, Max Payne on roller skates. I'm like, all right, you sold me already. Right. But Steel Rising, I actually own. I picked it up in a Black Friday deal. Nice. And I've played a little bit of it. It is definitely, you can tell the influence because it's very Dark Souls / Bloodborne themed with the setting and how it plays, especially. But it's definitely from a much smaller dev because if I remember correctly, it's by the devs of what was that? Actually, I forgot it already. It was I know that's by the developers of Spiders. They've made one of their prior games was Technomancer, I think.
Okay.
What was it? Was they made another game? I've already forgotten what it was.
They did Greedfall.
Yeah, Greedfall was that was
Greedfall.
the one.
Yep.
Yeah, they did Greedfall 1 and 2.
Yeah, that I did play a while ago, and I liked it for what it was, especially if you are a fan of like the BioWare-esque RPGs, which is what they were going for with it. But it's very budget, as you can tell when you play it. But it's not bad. So that I'd say is a decent lineup for this tier of the PS Plus.
Yeah, definitely. All right. So next up is our programming notes. So this coming week, guys, Halo Season 2 on Paramount Plus starts on February 8th, and we're going to be doing here on the Arena Productions, we're going to be doing weekly recap and reviews of each and every episode. So the first 2 episodes drop next week. So really excited for that. Then, of course, later in the month, we've got the Bad Batch season 3, the final season coming out. So yeah, a lot of cool stuff coming up. Burley, he's got his extra takes coming up, and so we're excited for those. Looking forward to those. I'll be doing some other Star Trek and Marvel related stuff this week as well. And you can check out our Patreon, patreon.com/The Arena Productions, where we, of course, have all of our content ad-free. And of course, we have exclusive content like our post shows that we do after our episodes of the podcast here, as well as our fantasy shows, Star Wars Republic, the Marvelous Marvel Discussion Arena, Warp Factor 10, all of those shows as well. So check out our Patreon so you can watch ad-free, and you can check out our exclusive content over there as well. www.patreon.com/The Arena Productions. So come and check out our Patreon. So, and Fryman is one of our patrons, and we thank him so much for his support. And we thank all of you as well for supporting us over there on Patreon. So thank you so much. All right. So what are you guys going to be playing this week? I'm going to be playing more Persona 3 Reload. I'm going to try and finish the end of Silent Hill, the short message. I don't know how far you guys have gotten. I've gotten to the point where I went into, the mother and father were fighting and went into their house. And then now I'm just running through the corridors and still getting chased down and stabbed to death, So,
yeah, you're at the end. Actually.
Yeah, I'm pretty
You're
much
almost done.
So I want to finish that up. And then Helldivers 2. Yeah, next week on the 8th. So yeah, those are the games I'll be playing. Burley, how about you? Games you're playing?
Well, definitely I'm going to try and keep moving forward with Prince of Persia, do some more Pal World, and definitely Helldivers 2. And if I can get some time, sneak some time in.
Thanks, Leah. Thanks. Yeah, I do need the luck on that one. Yeah, I've already tried it I've already ran through the corridors about 25 different times, and I'm still trying to memorize all the patterns of how to get through. So thanks. I'm sorry, Burley.
Leah's giving you a tip there. That part sucks. You need to collect all the pictures.
Yeah, I know.
I definitely want to try it, but I don't know if this is because I've only ever played a few Silent Hill games demos, so that would be the first one I've ever played. This download title.
I want to say one thing about collecting those pictures. When I collect the pictures, it's like, yeah, usually when I collect the picture, that's when the guy gets, the monster, I'll call it the Sakura monster. The Sakura monster comes up, and he's like, as soon as I grab the picture, it's like towards the very end, I'm almost out of there, but then usually like around the last picture, he catches up. So yeah. So anyway, Fry, go ahead, man. Fryman, what are you gonna play this week? Besides Helldivers,
Yeah, besides Helldivers, of course. See about going back to playing Infinite Wealth. See how much more I can get into that, especially because from where I'm at, I think I'm almost at the halfway point of the game in terms of the story. But now that Persona 3 is here, and I'm like, I might be playing more Persona 3 because that's since I'm already familiar with it. It's like I can definitely play through and get more time out of it.
Nice.
But also just like, I liked what I played. So probably those two, and of course Helldivers is my main focus.
Nice. Good stuff. All right. So to end our show, it's time for our indie recording artist spotlight. But before we do that, I want to thank all of you that have come in. Lee, I want to thank you for coming on in. Thank you so much. And everybody else that's joined us. And those of you that are watching video on demand on the YouTube channel, thank you so much. We really appreciate it. Appreciate all of your support. And be sure to hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. And so looking forward to this week of gaming. So to end the show, it's time for our indie recording artist spotlight. So each and every week we have an indie recording artist with a music outro to end the show. So this week's spotlight is on Turpak. Since being introduced to music as a child, Turpak has constantly grown and crystallized his unique style and sound. He has extensive experience in creating inspiring cinematic music for all kinds of visual media. Turpak's highly memorable works are always led by melody and are created with taste and great attention to detail. From his album titled The Next Step, and the song is called Over the Horizon. So this has been the Arena, a multi-platform gaming news podcast, episode 162. I've been your host, Expat, along with my co-host, Burley of Burleman Gaming, and our guest and community member and patron, Fryman. Thank you so much for coming in. We really appreciate you coming on in and helping us out today. So thank you so much. Really appreciate it, man.
Thank you for allowing me to come on today. It was really fun.
All right. Okay. So take care, everyone, and enjoy your week of gaming, and we'll catch you next week. Peace out.